Hello Mzansi, sanamukela ku Dijo Le Bophelo, your favorite show la ku SABC 2. Why? Ngoba siphendula yonke imibuzo yenu mayelana nokudla nempilo. So every week siyanimema ukuthi nisibhalele nisibuze imibuzo mayelana nokudla and how it impacts your life. Bese ke siletha ongqono bethu ama-experts ukuthi aphendule imibuzo yenu. Our question namhlanje comes from the 35-year-old Tony Tali, who posted a video yakhe ku Twitter page yethu with a few questions about ingozi zokudla inyama ebomvu.
Sanibona and Dijo Le Bophelo. There are a few questions that I need you guys to answer me about meat, especially red meat.
Siyasahamba ke sathi shwi sayile Rosettenville to meet Tony and learn more about him before simphendula lo mbuzo wakhe. Ake sibone.
My name is Tony Tali. I'm 35 years of age. Ngihlala Rosettenville. Ngithanda music, umculo, and ngithanda ukujima. I'm very passionate about the gym. I'm very passionate about my health because what happened about 2 years ago, I realized that I was changing. I was getting bigger. Then I started going to the gym and I started enjoying a gymming. Now it's taking me about at least 2 or 3 days a week to go to the gym, and I do weights because of the love of the gym, so that I can look even much better than I looked before. Mangpize gymming, I realized that, I need protein for my body to grow, So the best option was for me to go for red meat. So I eat quite a lot of red meat, at least maybe 3-4 times a week for my protein, because I really want to look better. I really want to grow big. But I heard also that there's a lot of dangers in meat, especially red meat. Dijo Le Bophelo, I need to know, what is it that is in red meat that is so harmful? And what can I do? What should I eat as a replacement for my protein? Because I really need that protein.
After the break, sixoxa no Dr. Tiny Minga, who will be answering imibuzo ka Tony about the dangers of red meat. Please ungasabi ukukhuluma nathi. Khuluma nathi ku Twitter uthi @Dijo Le Bophelo, Facebook uthi Dijo Le Bophelo, or uthi dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. Siyabuya khona manje. In the meantime, bheka le life hack. Welcome back. Sisonke la kwa Dijo Le Bophelo ku SABC 2. Sikhuluma ngengozi zokudla inyama ebomvu. Ngoba before the break sihlangane no Tony una 35 le ku Rosettenville. Tony has specific questions that he posted on our Twitter page and ufuna ukwazi ukuthi kwenzakalani ngale red meat. What's so dangerous about this red meat? So we've got our guest expert who's going to answer the questions namhlanje. Mhlawumbe you've got some questions or some views about red meat or zwe amahem nge-red meat. Ungazabi ukusicontact ke, we are on Twitter #Dijo Le Bophelo or Facebook Facebook Dijo Le Bophelo or Dijo Le Bophelo @sabc.co.za. Yo, finally our guest has arrived. Kunini ngimele ngoba I've got questions ngiyazi nani nifuna ukuzwa. Sawubona Dr. Tiny Menga.
Absheni.
How are you?
Ikhona njani?
Out of Wangamanda.
Ndezona.
Maybe please just get to it. What is it that's in red meat that can be so harmful to my body, to my system?
Well, there are a lot of things that are necessary in the red meat. It is, after all, a big protein. And if I were to talk chemically, it's myoglobin. Myo meaning muscle. And it's a protein, it's a very big protein that is necessary for developing and strengthening our muscles.
So we need this?
We need this, but in good quantities.
Okay.
it's not just a myoglobin. We have vitamins
Yes.
in abundance. Vitamin B12, which is very important for the formation of our blood.
Yes.
You know, we need that. The zinc, which is also very important for the establishment and sustenance of our immune system.
So, doctor, the way it sounds, ngathi wena uthi this meat, this red meat is important.
It is important, but like anything else, if you take it in the right amounts, in good quantities,
Yes.
that is okay. But at the rate at which people or we tend to eat
Yes.
or abuse meat, that is where the problem comes in.
So can you tell me what is it that is dangerous in red meat? Njengoba uthona buzile, because that's really what he wants to know.
Okay, look. Okay, let's start with a piece like this. This is red meat, unprocessed, fresh. There are certain organisms here that are not suitable for your body, and that's one of the reasons why we have to cook it, and you have to kill those.
But I've heard ukuthi mawipheka inyama, there's even more danger.
Right. If you cook your meat,
Yes.
it depends on the rate of cooking and the amount of heat that you apply in the cooking. So if you are going to cook your meat using extreme heat,
Yes.
that is dangerous, because most of these chemicals that I've spoken about, some of the myoglobin, can easily change into what we call lipolytic acid. And this is the one that usually becomes what we call a precursor. In other words, it's a starting point for something that can cause medical problems.
Okay, things like abo cancer.
Things like about cancer.
Abantu abaningi bazofuna ukwazi ukuthi does it matter what kind of oil you use uma upheka inyama, especially red meat?
Well, I don't know why people have to use oils anyway, because meat itself has got enough oils.
Yes.
The least that you can do at least is to use, to marinate. You know, to marinate meat ahead of cooking. That also helps to dampen the, what we call it, in other words, it loses that ability, the dangerous ability to form things like cancers.
Oh, in
so
your
at least you're
system.
helping yourself by marinating the meat, other than just making it get tastier and softer.
Okay, because someone like Utoni uyajima, and he gets his protein from meat, from the red meat. So that's why what is it in this meat that is so harmful?
Well, the harmful things is if you take them in excess, and the most important thing is if that red meat is processed. As it is, not so much. It's when you start processing the meat. They make it harder, they make it more darker, they make it with all sorts of things. So it stops from being the original protein that you need as a myoglobin. It changes into something else. And of course, the lipolytic acid that I spoke about becomes the dangerous one now. So it changes its character in the processing of that red meat. In its original form, it's still okay for as long as you take it in small amounts.
So Dr. Makhuluma ngenyama that's overdone and overcooked and salted, do you mean something like this?
Well, I think what you have here is boerewors, salami. All these are processed meats. They are not in their original red meat format. So that is where the problem comes in. And I'm sure just by mere looking at it, you can actually see the fatty streaks that are in there. And those are the harmful things that you get in all the processed meats.
So basically, this does not look good.
I'm sure by just a casual look at it, you can see a lot of streaks of fat, and it's there. If you eat that, you are eating that fat. And this is what you're trying to avoid, you know, when you're eating meat. Less of fat, the better.
Yes. Based on that, Utoni's got a follow-up question. Okay, there he is.
So guys, please tell me, ngifuna ukufunda manje. Is it red meat kuphela enenkinga, or it's the meat in general that is a problem? Because I really need to know.
Okay.
What is it only red meat that can be harmful and dangerous for us?
In the beginning, I said, what is dangerous about the red meat? It's because our body cannot handle red meat adequately.
Yes.
It leaves so many byproducts along the way. Whereas if you take white meat.
Njengenkukhu.
Njengenkukhu, fish, and there's a argument as to say whether pork is actually red meat
Or is
white
it white meat? Okay.
But by definition, if you're in any doubt,
Yes.
when you cook, even if it looks white,
It's-
or it looks, after you've cooked it,
Yes.
if it looks pale, it's regarded as white
White
meat.
meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Americans classify their pork as white
As
meat.
white meat,
That's
okay.
right. So, but our body can handle that.
So our body can handle ingolobi.
It can handle any white meat. It can
Okay.
handle it better.
Okay.
It can break down that protein, myoglobin, much better and quicker, because it mustn't stay in your body for too long. It must be excreted anyway. Whatever is not being used, it must get out. Because the proteins that you take, it's only to build your muscles, to build and strengthen your bones.
Yes.
So the rest must get out. But in the case of red meat,
Yeah.
that excess myoglobin
Aiphuma.
is the one that gives a problem ultimately. And actually it's fat. So we can deal with chicken, we can deal with any form of white meat much better and much quicker, and without these side effects, some diabetes, hypertension, and cancer, and all of those things. So yes, to answer your question, you're better off with white meat than red meat.
Here's another question.
Guys, I really need to know now. Mangidli nyama, how much meat am I supposed to have? Per day, mangidla, or per week, or per month? How big should the portion be?
How much meat should a person take a week? Now, nyazi ukuthi uthona ubuze like white meat or red meat.
Let me borrow this word from the alcoholics. There's an abuse of red meat in our families.
Red meat or just meat under
In general, we
Okay.
just abuse meat.
Yes.
And as if meat is cheaper. Meat is very expensive. Eating meat more than twice a week, it's just too much for your body.
Ngiyaxolisa, Doctor.
Your body
Bangakubulala.
cannot afford.
bangakubulala la ekhaya ngiyazi la ku-SABC 2 ama-viewers wethu asithandela inyama
Yes.
badla inyama
You know what?
vols inkukhu steak
Even Jesus was killed for the truth, you know? So we can't be scared of the truth. Let's tell the truth. So
Okay.
that people can save our people. More than twice a week. And when I say twice a week, I'm talking about a small portion. And I know you're not going to agree with me, you're going to fight with me. I came deliberately with a pack of cards. Per serving, it should not go beyond this.
Stop
I
it.
want to say 30 grams, but not many people can
Understand
visualize
the grams.
But a pack of cards, that is what your body can process adequately per serving.
So, doctor, you came with some meat. May I please show the people
them.
what you brought? Okay, so, doctor, uze nenyama. So are you so what must I show them?
Let's show them. Let's show them so that they can
okay,
understand
okay.
what we're talking about.
Right, here we go.
You know, it's scary because
Can I just say this, Bagiti? We've got two plates, the red plate and the black plate. Kunenyama esidlayo, esi-overeatayo, yile abuse uDr. Khuluma ngayo, ngizonibonisa ila. Then khona inyama ekumele siyidle, not just for the day, for a week. Ngicela nje ukunibonisa.
okay, let's go.
So, this is the amount of meat that we eat.
And this is what people tend to eat on a daily basis. And you need, if I take this pack of cards, equate it to any portion there, maybe that thigh of a chicken,
Siyazibulala.
that's all that you're supposed to eat.
Siyazibulala.
And tell me where this excess is going to, because your body cannot handle it.
Yes, because I see there's white meat, there's red meat, go on, Kenji.
A mixture.
And
In
then
fact,
Khulumile is already changed.
I'm not a dietitian, but most of the dietitians will tell you that it's not even advisable to have 2 types of meat per
serving.
Per serving. It becomes more dangerous.
Yes.
So this is in excess, but this is what people are eating on a regular basis. If you go to a function on a Saturday,
This is
or
it.
if you go to the name that I've just mentioned, Kuchisanyam,
Yes.
this is what people are eating.
Versus,
Yes.
what
Versus
they should be eating,
Yes.
not in a day, in a week.
in a week.
This amount.
This is all that you need to do. And what is scary, and I like the way we've put it up there, if you look at the most important part of our serving, which is the vegetables.
Yes.
In all cases, you find that those
Minimal.
vegetables are just stuck in some corner just for decoration. It should not be a decoration portion.
Yes.
It should be part of the serving, and visibly so. It must be on your eyes that what you're supposed to eat is more of vegetables than meat. But we leave the meat on the center of the plate, and then we decorate with a tomato, which is very important. We decorate with a cucumber. It's so important, but we're not eating it there. You know, so this is what we're dealing with on a regular basis.
If you're saying this is what must be eaten in a week,
Yeah.
how do you even break this down? Are you saying mhlambe mele inyama ingadliwa every day? Because people believe that they need to eat meat every day.
Yes, but that is why we have this program.
Okay.
So that people must understand
Yes.
that is this over usage and let me say abuse of meat.
Of meat.
And it's not cheap, by the way. You can still achieve what you want to achieve in your body without having to go through this. This is sufficient. Your body can deal with it.
Yes.
And of course, we all want to live longer. This
will
ultimately
kill you.
is going to send you into a coffin very quickly.
So that kunombuzo obaluleke kakhulu nami ngifuna ukwazi, and I know this is one of Tony's most important questions, my man.
Now, this is my last question. I really need to know this thing, guys. If we say inyama ayikho right, we cut the meat. Ngizodlani ke into engizoyinjoya, number one. Number two, into ezongisiza for my body, for my health, that has enough protein for me to grow.
So ufuna ukwazi ukuthi what are the alternatives? Because usidleni, abantu bathi sidleni if asidli inyama.
Where are the fishes? Where is the chicken? Where are the vegetables? We've got plenty. And all the things that I just mentioned are cheaper than any plate of meat, of red meat in particular. And it's less dangerous. And what is important is your body can break it down. Because remember, whatever you eat, it has to be broken down. The only thing that we're trying to extract when you eat red meat is the protein, is the vitamins, is the zinc.
And you can
those are the
get those
chemicals.
elsewhere.
And you can get them elsewhere.
Do you know why I'm smiling?
Much cheaper.
Do you know why I'm smiling? Do you know why I'm smiling?
Okay, I
You
saw
know
that
I'm
beautiful smile.
I'm smiling because I've got an amazing alternative that I want to show you. So, tell me what you think. Is this a good alternative?
It's not only good, this is healthy. What you're going to get without exposing yourself in the form of proteins, in the form of zinc, in the form of minerals and vitamins, you get them here equally. And this will build your body and strengthen it.
And your body can break
And
this
it
down.
can break it down because it has to get it out. It mustn't just stay in your body. The excess must go out.
Doctor,
Yeah.
bazong Facebook, bazong Twitter, bazong email.
Yeah.
Bafuna ukwazi ukuthi ikuphi inyama makunje.
Inyama for what? You're only interested in the proteins. And if you can get the proteins from other sources, here, there's your what is this? Potato. Here, you
Potato.
look, legumes.
Yes,
Some
legumes.
of you guys have never even seen a legume in a long time.
Yes.
There's your, what is this?
Your peas.
This your peas.
Broccolis.
Broccoli. All of these things are full of proteins. And this is what we need to eat. And of course, you can spice your food, your meal, once a week, Jay. This size of meat. And this is what is important. And you can balance your body. And you get everything from this. And you just spice it up with a piece of meat once or twice a week.
Woo! Doctor is incredible. That was a world of knowledge. Ngiyathemba ukuthi uThoni naye ufundile.
I want people to live longer and healthy.
And healthier.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Ingabe khona okudopile la kule ngxoxo yami no doctor? Ngiyazi ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi manje ikuphi inyama, guys. He just explained ukuthi you get the protein from here. But I do like to hear from you. So bengicela ukuthi ning Facebook enithi Dijo Le Bophelo or ning Twitter @Dijo Le Bophelo. Ningakhona ukuthi nifake hashtag yenu #Dijo or #sithini red meat. But also email me on dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. Ningakhohlwa bakithi, this interview is being posted online for uThoni ukuthi akayibuke le interview ayenza ama notes azibuzabuze futhi nanga sibuzabuza. Now you can log on and watch it on YouTube and on SABC education page. Just look for Dijo Le Bophelo khona lapho. After the break, sihamba futhi 0Z10 sokhuluma no Tony. Sizokuthi yini into ayifundile ngale conversation that we had no doctor on red meat. Siyabuya right now. In the meantime, bheka le life hack. Sanamgela futhi la ku Dijo Le Bophelo on SABC2. When we met Tony earlier in the show, ebefuna ukwazi ukuthi what are the dangers of eating this red meat? Ubone ingxoxo yami ke no Dr. Menga online. Akhe sibuyele kuye, let's touch base sizwe ukuthi Tony udobheni kule ngxoxo that I had with the doctor.
Yes, to answer your question, you're better off with white meat than red meat.
I'm very excited, guys. After watching the show, I got Dr. Tali. You know, I've learned, before I used to eat a lot of meat as a bachelor. It's the only thing that is good for a guy to have, you know. It's easy for me to prepare, but I realized also in trying to prepare that meat, I deep fry it, which would cause a lot of, you know, chemical reaction, the meat and the oil. So I'm trying by all means, and I'm going to try to change from eating the red meat to white meat, which is easy for my system to digest. So when I'm having my white meat, it must also be in a very small portion. Doctor gave me a good example of the size of the meat. He took some cards, you know, and he said it's about 30 grams. So which is very good for my body once or twice a week. So that's something that I'm going to change. And number two, we're going to go back to Eden. Try by all means to eat the vegetables. We Africans, we have the soil, we have the ground to grow our veggies. It's going to be cheap for me to eat vegetables compared to the meat that I have to buy every day. So I want to thank you guys, Dijo Le Bophelo, for these lessons that you're giving to me. I'm going to be a healthy being and I'm going to look maybe better, stronger. I thank you.
Awuyaphela ke show yethu namhlanje. Kodwa ungakhathazeki, the conversation continues on Facebook veluthi Dijo Le Bophelo, usitweete @Dijo Le Bophelo, #Dijo, or velung email uthi dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. Ngizonibona khona manje online. Bakithi ningakhohlwa ukuthi le show le yenzelwe nina. Ngaphandle kwenu dololo iDijo Le Bophelo. So we need you to contact us. Nisithinte nisibuze noma yini mayelana nokudla. And then Tina, we get our experts to answer your questions. So velumthinte ku social media or email or velufaka iteki uhambe eposini ungithumele incwadi. You understand? Ngiyathemba ukuthi you understand. Kwazi bani mhlambe singakhetha umbuzo wakho ukuthi kube question of the day on next week's show. So please nisibuzeni bo. See you next week, same place, same time la ku SABC2 sithi Dijo Le Bophelo.